Thank you very much, and good morning, everybody. Well, as Zia has said, we've had a very busy, active, and I think pretty successful 7 months. The speed, the growth, and the breadth of the party has been pretty astonishing. I have to say my main priority since July the 4th has been the 1st of May, because the 1st of May is our first real electoral test since the general election, where we intend to prove that the polls are not virtual, but that they are real. So a huge amount of work has gone into it, and the political opportunity is, I think, pretty extraordinary. Labour have not exactly got off to a very good start. And even if the Prime Minister is able to use his Brexit freedoms to stand much taller on the world stage than he would have done as EU members, it's the real cost of living, it's daily life, that is getting people down. You'll notice that the growth figures that came out on Friday showed that for 4 of the 7 months since, as she was dubbed by Lee Anderson, Rachel from Accounts has been our Chancellor, GDP fell. But of course, the real story is what is happening through mass migration and population explosion to GDP per capita, which continues to fall and has done for the last couple of years. The country is being deindustrialized, and I think very few people actually understand just how big the impact is going to be on jobs and the economy once the budget takes full effect on April the 1st. So we have a chance and an opportunity there. As for the Conservatives, well, of course, on May the 1st, they're going to be defending hundreds of seats that they won in 2021, when they were right at the absolute peak of Boris Johnson's then success. But the level of betrayal to so many voters who voted Conservative back in 2019 has been such that the party now stands, frankly, for nothing. It serves no particular purpose. And the truth is that in many seats, indeed, particularly the 300 county council and unitary seats that are held by Labour, frankly, a vote for the Conservatives will be a wasted vote, because we are the ones that will be challenging Labour. And that applies too to the by-election, which will take place, we're not sure when, but it may well be on the 1st of May in Runcorn and Helsby. And I promise you, a Conservative vote there will be a completely wasted vote. It's going to be a 2-horse race between us and the Labour Party. And I think it could be a very exciting contest, and we're readying for that. And as soon as we know when the by-election is, we will have a press conference in Runcorn to show you who our candidate is.
Westminster, London. Reform UK leader Nigel Farage sought to steady the ship and demonstrate renewed momentum this afternoon, unveiling a group of high-profile defectors at a press conference in Westminster. The event marks a pivotal moment for the insurgent party as it attempts to shake off internal turmoil and project strength ahead of the key local elections in May, flanked by the new recruits, whose names are expected to send ripples through Westminster. The Reform leader struck a confident tone, positioning the additions as a clear signal of the party's growing appeal beyond its traditional base. While exact details of the defectors' political affiliations prior to their jump remain under wraps, insiders suggest they include former councillors and activists disillusioned with both main parties' handling of economic and immigration policies. "We are the party of the people, and today the people are voting with their feet," Farage declared, standing before a banner emblazoned with Reform's slogan. "Our movement is growing stronger by the day. The timing of today's announcement is no accident." With May's local elections looming large, Reform's leadership views the contest as a litmus test for the party's national viability, a crucial opportunity to convert rising poll numbers into concrete electoral wins. However, Farage's efforts to rebrand Reform as a disciplined, voter-ready machine have been complicated by recent internal rifts. Most notably, Great Yarmouth MP Rupert Lowe had the whip suspended last week following allegations regarding his conduct, which he categorically denies. The matter has since been referred to the police, casting an uncomfortable shadow over Reform's unity push. Lowe's suspension came on the heels of an outspoken interview in which he questioned Farage's leadership style and the direction of the party. His remarks exposed the fault lines simmering beneath Reform's rapid rise. Tensions between those who see it as a populist insurgency and others pushing for a more institutionalized, policy-driven approach. Sources close to Farage suggest today's unveiling was as much about quelling doubts within party ranks as it was about making headlines. A senior Reform figure told the Chronicle, "Nigel wants to show he's in control. The Lowy saga was a distraction, and this is about putting the focus back where it belongs, on delivering for voters." Labour and Conservative strategists are reportedly keeping a close eye on Reform's trajectory, wary of potential upsets in battleground councils where disillusionment with mainstream parties runs high. For now, Farage appears determined to wrest back the narrative, painting the defectors as the latest proof that Reform is not merely a protest vote, but a serious political force. Whether today's move will be enough to stabilize the party and translate momentum into ballot box success remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, come May, all eyes will be on Reform.
Right, okay, here we go. Yes or no? We'll start with you, Reem, or the Labour government, right to slash benefits.
Yes.
No.
Okay, Andy, is Trump right to put tariffs on steel imports?
No.
Reem.
No.
Should e-bikes, Reem, be banned from the London Underground?
No.
No.
And Andy, should the diversity roles in the public sector be scrapped?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow, agreement. And last one, Andy, is Trump doing a good job?
No.
Reem?
Yes.
There was a slight verbal tick then, but it's 5 each. Andy, do you think we should have a tiebreaker?
Yes.
Reem?
Yes.
There's your tiebreaker question. Couldn't catch you out this week, so we're going to call it a tie. The reason I asked about e-bikes, there's been a few fires on the underground with e-bikes. Now, anybody knows anything about working underground, like I do, once you have a fire underground, it can be devastating very, very quickly. I think that's sort of why I asked, should we ban these e-bikes underground? Do you want to come back on that, Andy?
Well, I think e-bikes range, because you've obviously got your line bikes, but then you've also got these kind of pack-up bikes, which I think are the origin of the fire. Yeah. I think this comes down to battery safety, really. I think, local government and national government need to regulate and legislate so then there is a standard, and there needs to be a clampdown on the producers of these batteries more than anything.
Yeah.
Well, I disagree. I don't think there should be a clampdown on the producers. I think the point is we've already got quite stringent health and safety regulations, but people are using them legally. So if you were to ban e-bikes underground altogether, people would use them anyway, but they'd be using these quite illegal, dangerous batteries. So I actually think it would make the fires worse.
Number 4, the question asked for number 4, Andy, was should diversity roles within the public sector be scrapped? You both said yes, actually. You want to come back on that one?
HR is the enemy of the trade unions. HR for the bosses, not the workers. I'd be happy to see them all gone, to be honest with you.
I have a slightly different view, although I agree in the conclusion. I don't really care about the unions. I think the point is that what we would like to see is people being treated for who they are. Now, I am North African origin. I'm a woman.
From Harrow.
Tick a lot of the origin boxes. And ultimately, I want to be treated for who I am as an individual. I want to be treated based on my merit, based on how hard I work or how good I am at my job, not based on the colour of my skin. Now, I thought that was basic. However, the government have effectively legislated on this stuff, which means that people are being treated based on the colour of their skin. They are being treated based on their gender. And I think that ultimately that's racism. The government's mandated racism through things like the civil service fast stream, the fact that there's a fast stream just for minorities.
Andy, to be honest, most people out there, normal people out on the street, aren't bothered what colour skin you are, what sexuality you are, what sex you are. It's just a minority of people in high positions who are looking for groups of people and telling them continuously that you're a victim.
So on your question about Trump, that's why I said On balance, yes.
Yeah.
Overall, Trump has effectively resulted in so many people now saying, you know what, diversity and inclusion, all of this stuff is absolutely rubbish. We've seen stuff with Facebook completely sacking all of their diversity roles. I would like to see that kind of thing happen in the UK. The reason why I hesitated on that question is because of everything that's happened with Ukraine, which I don't agree with.
Yeah.
I also don't agree with the tariffs.
Let's talk about that, Reem, the tariffs on steel. Is this just a threat, you think? Is it Trump being Trump, doing a bit of horse trading?
I think it could be both. The tariffs that he has already announced, I think, are absolutely going to be damaging to the American economy. Yeah. When you implement tariffs, they're basically a tax, right? Yeah. They're a tax on imports. It's going to be bad for UK steel, ultimately, because it means we're going to be exporting less, although what we've got left. We don't really export very much to the US anyway. I actually think it could be, now this is a bit of a theory I have, I think it could be quite good for the UK for infrastructure because Canada are no longer going to be able to sell all of that steel to the US. So there's going to be a huge flooding of steel in the whole world economy. And I think a lot of that is then going to reduce the price of steel in the UK. So we could have quite cheap steel as a result in the UK.
Quick one, Andy.
This is his Joe Biden moment. Honest to God, he's going senile. I don't know what he's doing. He's so erratic and irrational.
Well, Donald Trump's not here to defend himself.
I'm sure he'd call me a nasty name if he was here.
Why do you say it's erratic? I don't think it's erratic. I think it's wrong policy. But I don't think it's erratic.
Well, it's just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
It's not back and forth.
The way that they treated Zelensky and what?
Okay then, guys. A little bit of agreement throughout that quiz. 6 each on a tie break. So well done.